Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. So today, we're digging into some seriously fascinating material from the Phi Theta Kappa Honors Program Guide. We're going to start with a quick look at their core essay, which is called The Art and Science of Play by Dr. Susan Edwards, and then we're really going to zoom in on the guide's sixth theme. All right, let's just dive right in, because today, we're treating this explainer as a chance to literally level up our understanding of how we interact with the world. Actually, before we get too deep, I want to break the fourth wall for just a second here. Seriously. I want you to think about this. When was the absolute last time you experienced the pure, unadulterated surprise and pleasure of play? And I don't just mean relaxing on the couch or scrolling through your phone, but actual, immersive, lose track of time play. You know, as adults, we kind of tend to box play up and leave it in childhood, right? We treat it like something we just outgrow the minute the quote-unquote serious business of life begins. But as our source material reveals, that assumption isn't just a little off the mark. It actually goes against our very biology. No joke. So let's kick things off with level 1, the mechanics of play. To really grasp why play is so vital, the source introduces us to Dr. Stuart Brown. He's the founder of the National Institute for Play. And he points out that play isn't just a luxury, it's a pre-conscious biological urge. He actually breaks it down into 7 foundational properties, which, honestly, think of them kind of like the basic mechanics of a video game. You've got things like it being voluntary, done for its own sake, it's fun, it diminishes self-consciousness, encourages improvisation, and creates this desire to just keep playing. But I really want you to pay special attention to that magical feeling of freedom from time. When we fully engage in play, we literally step completely outside the relentless ticking clock of our daily schedules. And stepping out of that daily schedule is absolutely crucial for our biology. Think about it. In our modern go, go, go lives, we are constantly battling cortisol, the stress hormone. For a lot of adults, that's just the default state of being. But sharing the experience of play, that's our biological cheat code. It releases endorphins, which directly counteract all that cortisol. So play is literally the antidote to modern stress. And author Kate Sullivan backs this up, arguing that there are hard, scientific reasons why we adults desperately need to play, too. Think of these benefits as your daily power-ups. Play reduces our stress, it ramps up our energy, boosts our brain function, and even improves our language skills. It helps us sleep better, pumps up our confidence, and get this, it even boosts goal setting and builds trust in our relationships. Oh, and it acts as a massive multiplier for our creativity. Seriously, if these benefits were packed into a daily vitamin, every single one of us would be taking it, right? All right, moving right along to level 2, the 6-step combo. Okay, so we know why we need it, but how exactly does play unfold in our minds? Well, the essay turns to Scott Eberle, Vice President of Play Studies at the Strong National Museum of Play, and he maps it out as a 6-step process. I love looking at this like a perfectly executed video game combo move. Step 1 is anticipation, thinking about what to expect, usually with a little butterfly of anxiety or curiosity. Then bam, step 2, surprise. You discover something, find a new idea, or totally shift your perspective. Step 3 is pleasure. That's just the pure fun and good vibes. Step 4 is understanding, where you're acquiring and synthesizing this new knowledge. Step 5 is strength, which is that deep self-confidence you get from mastering something through play. And finally, the whole combo climaxes with step 6, poise. Now that final step, poise, is just perfectly captured when we think about physical movement. Poise is this incredible sense of balance, grace, and contentment. And honestly, in a chaotic, super high-stress world, this is what play ultimately gifts us. It gives us the ability to find our footing, tap into our strength, and achieve a real state of graceful balance. Which brings us to level 3, nostalgia as play. We are officially entering the boss stage of our explainer. Here, we're diving deep into the guide's theme 6, looking at how play interacts with our deeper reality, our history, and our memories. And the source material makes a really profound statement here. It says play evokes memories that challenge, inspire, traumatize, and heal. So play isn't just some shallow escape from reality. Far from it. It's a powerful, incredibly complex tool that brings up deep emotions. The text describes it as a harbinger of epiphanies, inventions, and innovations. It's basically a sandbox where we actively process our lived experiences. Let's ground that theory for a second by looking at the intense immersion of arcane gamers. When we talk about nostalgia and play, video games are such a fascinating frontier. The guide highlights research by T. Cruz, presented at the Canadian Game Study Association, which dives headfirst into the profound experiences of digital nostalgia. So Cruz's research specifically zeroed in on the video game Call of Duty 2. He presented this highly theorized reflection on how playing these video games reinforces narratives of the past that, well, they might actually differ from strict historical truth. But here is the kicker. Those narratives work, and they resonate deeply with players simply because they feel authentic. The sheer act of playing inside a historical simulation creates this profound sense of nostalgia and emotional reality. It literally shapes how we connect with the past. And that brings us to what I think is one of the most compelling ideas in the entire guide. The text says, play not only brings joy, but it also poses creative challenges to the core of reality: time, space, thought, and identity. In play, we move beyond linear time. I mean, wow, that is essentially a metaphor for time travel. When we play, whether we're engaging with nostalgia, simulating history, or just totally losing ourselves in a game, we are actively challenging the very boundaries of space and time. How cool is that? Building right on that time travel metaphor, the text really highlights the unique power of roleplay. The true power here is that it makes us hyper-aware of our freedom to choose our own paths. By stepping into different identities and entirely different timelines within a game, we get this powerful reminder of our ultimate freedom and agency. It reminds us that we can choose our own direction, not just within the boundaries of the game, but out there in the real world too. And finally, we level up Ready Player U. Okay, so we've explored the biology, the psychology, and the deep emotional reality of play. Now I want to shift the focus right back to you and your everyday life. To fight back against the fast-moving burnout of contemporary life, the guide offers some brilliant advice from Dr. Stuart Brown. He says we need to open ourselves up to play, to be a beginner again, someone who looks at the world with a fresh, curious perspective. We have to cultivate activities and relationships that actually nourish our souls. Taking the time to just stop and play isn't a luxury, it's essential. As the guide concludes, quoting the ultimate slacker genius Ferris Bueller, like Bueller, be at play in the world. Play on. So I want to leave you with this final kind of provocative question. How are you going to play today? Seriously, what are you going to do to step out of linear time, lower that cortisol, find your poise, and just nourish your soul? The science is crystal clear, the mechanics are all laid out, and the choice is entirely yours. Thank you so much for exploring the art and science of play with me in this explainer. Now go out there, be a beginner again, and play on.